Om Namo Manjushri, Namo Sushri, Namo Uttam Shri Soha.
Soha. Very good, very good.
Oh, did you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it. Oh, that was bad. Oh my goodness.
We did it. We did a little bit faster today because I'm already late. So you know, it's like in Buddhism, especially in Tibetan Buddhism,
Yeah.
we have the uh, long version,
Okay.
the short version, and the extremely abbreviated version.
The late version.
The very, very abbreviated version.
Okay.
So very good. Thank you so much for being here. You guys online as well. Thank you so much. So we're gonna continue with our meditations on the Lamrim, meditations for life. So before we start with the blah 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 preparation for the blah blah blah, we try to generate a positive intention. That's always very, very important. So we can just take a little moment just to feel our presence here. Letting go of any tensions in the body, and especially trying to let it go any tensions in the mind. But as we can see, it's not as easy as we think, just letting go like this. You need us to realize it, be mindful of whatever is happening in our minds. And once we are mindful, we need to start recognizing, understanding what is happening in our mind. And then, through this understanding, we are able to see and discern what are good mind states and what are not so good mind states. Mind states that don't bring any benefit to ourselves and others. And not only that, but out of this understanding and this mindfulness and this discernment, then we need to do something about it. So we start to forcefully using a little bit of our force, inner force. We start changing our negative tendencies. And we can start developing our positive ones more and more. And the more we do that, not only the happier we become and the less suffering we experience, but we are able to really be there for others, really help and support others in a more efficient way. Because we are not only going to be able to help them externally, but especially help them to do the same, being free from their suffering and developing their good qualities. Whatever we're going to meditate on today, We know that the path to enlightenment, the Lam Rim, if we follow it, if we really understand it, contemplate on it, meditate on it, we will achieve this state. So we motivate ourselves for that. That we are able to have all the conditions to continue walking our path. So we can help others to walk theirs. Okay. Now that we created this intention, today we're gonna continue, as I say, on our juicy part of the Lamrim. It's just so good. You know, last week we did a little bit of meditation on the kindness of the mother, seeing all sentient beings as our mothers, which was not that easy. With a big disclaimer we had to use. But today it's a little bit easier because we also gonna meditate on the kindness, but not only the kindness of our mother and those that have been, but we're gonna meditate on the kindness of others, really realizing that interdependency that we have. And that interdependency is very important to break that selfish attitude, right? It's a counter force against that attitude that is just about me, 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 me. And it's an attitude that goes out and think about others. Because if we think about all of the things that we want, if we forget about Dharma, if we are just a normal person living our lives, we want comfort, we want food, we want to have aircon when we are hot, we want to have a hot shower when we are cold, we want to have, you know, material things, things that makes us beautiful and all of that. All of these are depending on others. All of it. We are totally dependent on others. Not only interdependent because people also depend on us in a certain level, but especially our wishes, they are depending on others. So if we was just thinking about our own happiness and the happiness of this life, that would be just incredible already, right? And then we go around our lives being mad at people, right? Screaming or being upset with people on the phones, or you know, that kind of like, we don't get what we want, or and then we get angry and then we get anxious, all of that. So this is already something. But the Buddhist path, and especially the Lamrim, it says, okay, the other possibility that we can have is not only thinking about the life, the happiness of this life, but we can think about the happiness of future lives. So to do that, we need to create positive karma. And creating positive karma, if we think about, it's all about, you know, not killing, not stealing, not kind of like, you know, lying, not doing many negative things that we do, not doing them. And normally, most of these things are towards others, right? So if you think about it, it's very funny because even the happiness of this life and the happiness of future life depends on others. And then we think about it, okay, but how about bodhicitta, the wish to achieve enlightenment? It's a wish, so it's something that is coming from me. But for you to develop bodhicitta, so for you to achieve enlightenment, to become a Buddha, you need bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, you need great compassion. Great compassion needs compassion, normal compassion, which is not wanting to see others suffering. And then not only that, but then we're gonna have a background music. Maybe you guys online cannot hear, but we have a background music here going on from the neighbors.
Through the wall. Yeah.
Coming through the wall. So if you think about it, it's that feeling of, okay, I don't want others to suffer, but not only this, I want to do something about it. So for me to be able to practice patience, love and kindness, love, compassion, I need others. I need others to be that object of my practice, right? So if you think about it, everything from our happiness in this life, from the happiness of future lives, from nirvana, for us being free from suffering, and for us achieving enlightenment, depends on others. Isn't that beautiful? But we don't think like this. Unfortunately, throughout our daily lives, we don't think like that. Normally, what we do, we blame others when everything goes wrong in our lives and it's the other people's fault. And we think that others needs to give us whatever we want so we can be happy, right? Without any type of exchange. As we say sometimes, the self-cherishing mind just creates that slave attitude. Like, others are our slaves. They're just there to do whatever we want or whatever we need. Complicated. So then we don't achieve that happiness that we want because we are not facing reality. We are not achieving what we are actually trying to do, right? So that I think it is very important for us to kind of like contemplate and meditate, because these meditations that we are doing now, they are kind of like warming our heart. They are kind of like moisturing our own compassion, right? Kind of like, because we all have compassion, let's face it. We all have compassion. We all have kindness. We all are kind to others. It is true. And that is very important, especially in the West, that we also talk about that. I'm not saying that we don't have any compassion, that we are zero. We don't have the unconditional, the unlimited type of compassion that we say that the Buddha can have. And if we have the potential to be a Buddha, that means that we have the potential to have these qualities, right? So why? Because right now our compassion, our kindness towards others, it's limited. It is restricted. It is conditional, right? It is me, 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 me. If you're nice to me, if you're no, 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 then it becomes very complicated for us to be able to achieve enlightenment if we do that. So that's why it's so important that we do that we meditate, and then repaying, like thinking about the kindness of others, is gonna create that jump from not doing, just receiving, or wanting to repay, or wanting to do something, for that action, right? That's why we say the Tara is the enlightened activities of the Buddha. Because it just don't say, oh yes, oh, sentient beings are so nice. Oh yes, I'm so fortunate. Oh yes. Not like this. It's like, okay, so then what I do to them? I actively, I jump, I kind of like, do something about it. I, I put my body, speech, and mind in service of sentient beings. That's what we are trying to do. So that is very profound, because we need to overcome a lot of our difficulties, a lot of our self-cherishings and the restricting now. We create a lot of tendencies thinking like this. That's why it's hard, you know? It's very funny, because sometimes even on a conversation with others, you can see when someone is just talking about them, you immediately don't get interested in that person, right? If the person don't say, "Oh, but how about you?" Right? Oh yes, and if it is just like, "Oh yeah, because I did that," "Oh because this," "Oh me," "Ah yeah, da da da," nobody wants to be around this person. So funny enough, when we are talking about ourselves, what we are wanting is that person to like us, right? We want that person to kind of like feel interested in us and all of that. But when we are just thinking about ourselves, it's the opposite where we are actually getting. Because nobody wants. It's very easy to see how the mind has a just that focus of the center of the universe being us. But the moment we start to open, beautiful things start to happen in our lives. Beautiful things. Opening our hearts to others is the most special and beautiful thing we can do. And of course, we need to start from where we are. We're not gonna now start saying, going and giving hugs to strangers on the street. You go to Publix, to the supermarket, and you say free hugs, and then people are gonna say, "Oh my God," imagine, especially if you're a monk, then completely crazy. Then people think this one is nuts, totally nuts. But we start from where we are, from the people that we interact. We have human and animals interactions all the time. We are surrounded by options and opportunities to practice kindness towards others. Not only to practice, but to observe how much we receive so we can continue nourishing that wish to help others. Because these are these two aspects, right? We need to recognize the kindness of the others, and we need to recognize the possibility that we have as well to also give. That is why equanimity is the basis of these meditations. Because equanimity brings about that idea as well that we have, that that person that is giving me whatever I want, whatever like nice experience, also wants the same. So why me? I'm gonna be the one in that a two ways relationship, two ways interaction, the one causing suffering and pain to the other person, right? That is why we need to understand that the equanimity is the basis of these meditations. Because also it helps us to think about it. Oh, the same way that I'm feeling like this, the other person also wants to feel like that when we think about the kindness of others. And that's why equanimity and thinking and meditating on the kindness of others also include our enemies. How our enemies are kind to us. How?
They're giving us
What they are giving you?
an opportunity
Uh,
to be kind to them.
that's very good. Very, very good. Exactly. So they are giving us the opportunity to practice.
It's funny. Well, it's not funny. When I first came here and
Yeah.
I heard what you're saying, and I would say to my sister,
You are
you're
my.
here to teach me patience. And you know what? I'm still working on it.
Yeah, no, wow.
It's like,
Join the
especially with
club.
family.
That's it. Exactly. Family is they are our best teachers. Right, Claudia? Family is our best teachers. Families, those ones that kind of like can they can be we can feel so much love for them, right? Because we have that kind of intimate relationship that nobody knows us so well as our family members, right? But at the same time, they are the ones that can trigger us the most. They can push all our buttons, all our buttons. So that is very interesting and very important for us to observe. Because these situations with, family or with difficult people in our lives, because that is the beauty of Buddhism. Buddhism is not going to say to you, oh no, you're never going to find another difficult person in your life. It's not about that. Why? Because we don't have control. But once you found that person, here are the tools that you can use. Here are what you can do. And this meditation, perfect for that. Meditation on equanimity as a basis, understanding and feeling, no? That kind of, that person just like me wanting to be happy and not suffer. Especially in your case, your sister is even easier because it's a twin, so it's like she's just like me.
That's right.
We came from the same egg and everything.
As I'm trying to be patient with her, she's trying to be patient with me.
That's
so
it. That's exactly
It works
it.
both ways.
That's exactly this. And then we can see that the basis of equanimity, but not only the basis of equanimity, but the basis of how that person is kind to me. Understanding the way that that kindness comes. It's not that because they're giving what we want. It's not because they are, they are kind of like telling us how beautiful we are, or whatever, or giving us whatever we think that we should have, but is because they are giving us the opportunity to practice. I uh, for a long time I had a difficulty, when I was growing up to understand friendships and all of these, because friendships at some point became a lot about feeding each other's kind of like egocentric ideas, or sometimes it was a bit like, this person did it to me, and then you just wanted your friend to reinforce what he was saying. And nowadays I feel that true friendship is someone that actually points out our flaws, right? That's why we say that our virtuous friends, or the virtual friend, or our spiritual friend, is our guru. We call our guru another name, it's our spiritual friend. Why? Because he just does exactly that. He shows us the mirror and say, oh yeah, you want that person to do this. Oh yeah, you think this person is like that. How about you? You think you are much better than this? Do you think you are doing a little bit, yeah? Oh yeah, maybe with this person, but remember that and that and that situation, you did exactly the same. Right? And it's there, the food for thought for us to work on. That is good friendship. So in this case, those that actually goes against us in some ways, they are our best friend. And therefore, very kind. Very, very kind to us. So when we meditate on them, when we're gonna do this meditation, we try to think about that. We try to think about, when, because we're going to meditate on the three types, families, friends, and then enemies, and then strangers. And we're going to try to meditate on these, on how these people are kind to us. Because, yeah, friends and family, sometimes it's easier to see it. But enemies, bit harder. And strangers, I think strangers is the easiest one, because everything we have, everything that we are wearing, everything that we are drinking, everything, like the car. Would you make a car by yourself at home to use it? Would you produce gas? Would you, would you like invent internet and produce internet? I don't even know what like internet is, if you think about it. Could you put electricity? Everything is because of others. Isn't that incredible? To really go analyzing like this, and the chain of people that are needed, the heart really, really expands. So as I say, these are the juicy meditations. I like these meditations. They are nice. They kind of like, they feel nice. And I feel that we need that in our world. We need to remind ourselves of this. So that's why these meditations, they are not kind of like just feeling good meditations, because they are not for that, but they are for with the intention of making us see reality as it is. The reality of our equanimity first, right? The basis of our equanimity, that we are all the same, but the interdependency. And these two aspects, they are aspects of or qualities of reality. And we don't see it like that. We see totally the opposite. We think that no, is not like this, that we see others. We are totally independent, we think, and we can choose friends and family and enemies, enemies far away, friends come here. I think that this is normal. And when we act upon these wrong understandings, we suffer and we create suffer for others. So when we act based on understanding of interdependence and understanding of equanimity, we stop suffering and we become much happier. So that is why, that is what we are doing. Because as we say, meditation is familiarization with positive virtues. Virtues means positive and means based in reality. That's what we are meditating on. We are meditating and familiarizing ourselves with reality. Okay? So let's meditate. Let's do it. Let's find our posture. We just find a comfortable posture, reminding ourselves to keep the spine as straight as possible, but also to keep ourselves not tense, but also not too relaxed. And we can start to reinforce our motivation. Why we are here meditating on the kindness of others. Maybe as we said in the beginning of the first motivation, we want to be happy and not suffer. And we can see that this happiness and this lack of suffering depends a lot on others right now. But we not want to only repay their kindness with material goods. We want to repay their kindness, especially with embodying and sharing with them the tools that can really bring about transformation, long-term happiness for them. That's what we want to, that's how we want to repay their kindness as well. But in order to do that, we need to start with ourselves. So we need to transform our current selfish and wrong attitude of seeing reality and how things work in a very deluded, like an illusion. So we create an intention that through doing this meditation, through contemplating and meditating on the kindness of others, we are not only able to be free from our own sufferings and to find a more lasting happiness, but that we are able to help others to achieve the same. So with that motivation, we can start bringing our attention to our breath. Through mindfulness, we become aware of what is happening. And with vigilance, we try to bring our attention again and again to our breath. Just the subtle sensations of the breath, of the air coming in and out at our nostrils. Using mindfulness and using vigilance, we try to be aware every time we lose the object of concentration, when we lose contact with the breath. We remind ourselves of our meditation object and go back to it again and again. And now that we were able to focus and concentrate our minds a bit better, we let it go of the object of concentration of the breath, and we start our analytical part. We start to contemplate and analyze the kindness of others so we can develop our awareness of our interconnectedness, our interdependence with all other people, all the beings, and how we receive so much of their kindness. And we can start with our friends, people in our lives that we are right now calling friends. Try to check and remember, bring to mind memories of moments of support, encouragement, but also gifts, practical help, and all of these things that you have received from them. And we can think not only about friends from this life, from now, but friends from the past, when we were young, when we were teenagers, or different moments of our lives. We had people that we called friends that they gave us so much to us. They were there in difficult times, in difficult moments. We really think some people in our lives have been incredible friends, giving us so much, being there for us in so many difficult situations, giving their best just to help us. How kind, how grateful we should be. And we can also think about the benefit that we receive from our parents, relatives, and even teachers. Try to remember all the care they gave us when we were young, protecting us from danger, teaching us, giving us education. All the talents, abilities, and skills, but even small things like walking, eating, speaking, everything that we have now is due to the people who taught us, who trained us. Even when it was hard for us to learn or we didn't want, they continue trying to help us, teaching us. How kind, so much care. But these are the people that we know, people that we called friends or family. It's a very restricted group. It definitely has been crucial in our lives and our development. But all of those strangers that we have no connection, that we never met, or that pass completely unnoticed in our daily lives. Think about the help and the kindness we received from them. The, the buildings, the house we use, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the cars and roads we drive on. Everything that we need to survive, not only our comfort, was made by people that we don't know. Without their effort, the contribution they make to society, by whatever the work they do, we wouldn't be able to survive. Try to experience that kindness and warmth and gratitude towards them. But as we said, not only our families and the strangers are the object, we are the object of their kindness. But also the benefit we have received from people that we don't get along, people that we have a hard time with, people that get into our nerves, that push our buttons, or people who have harmed us. Even though it was painful and difficult for sure, but it has brought us here. These people show us what we need to work on, point out aspects of ourselves that we need to improve. Not only these, but they give us the opportunity to develop and practice patience, tolerance, compassion, love, kindness, to make those qualities expand even more, which is an essential part of the path. They give us the opportunity to think about to think more about others than thinking about just ourselves. How kind is this? We can come up with the conclusion and we can recognize that whatever we have received, holding unmeasurable benefit and help from others, comes from their kindness. kindness of friends, of strangers, and even our enemies. And we've been receiving these not only now, but when we were younger, when we were children, even for lifetimes. Try to experience this care, this kindness, and this love the others have shown you. Letting a sense of gratitude arise. And out of this gratitude, out of this recognition of all the kindness and love and care and help and support we received from others, try to generate the wish to be kind to them in return. Try to generate a wish to repay their kindness. And stay with that. Stay with that wish. May I be able to repay their kindness. So we can conclude by trying to bring this incredible wish to repay this kindness, not only as a mental attitude, but to use our body, speech, and of course our mind to truly repay that kindness in an active way. And so we dedicate all of the positive intention, the merits that we created by doing this meditation today, just by thinking and recognizing the kindness of others, but especially by generating a wish to repay that kindness. So we dedicate that we are able to create all the necessary conditions to repay this kindness, not only with our body, speech, and mind, but especially in a way that will not only give them temporary pleasures and temporary happiness and help, but that we may able to help them to repay their kindness in ways that will help them to be completely free from their own suffering, and that will help them open their hearts and develop their qualities. until they achieve the enlightened state. We dedicate for that. Okay. So this is a meditation that is very useful for our daily lives, especially when people are not nice to us. We can remember this meditation and remember how kind they are being now, how kind they've been in the past. And then we are able to create, to generate that wish to be kind to them and not to generate the wish of revenge. So we try to replace that. So we continue next week, more and more, getting there. It's incredible that we're able to meditate on all of these. You know, we need to meditate many, many times on these meditations, but at least we are creating the seeds, planting the seeds. So thank you very, very much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
And I see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. That was genuinely really, really beautiful. Like, it was heart touching.
Very
Genuinely.
good. Very good, Claudia. I'm very happy.
Have sweet dreams, everyone.
Thank you. Ciao, Nana. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh. No.